Those are in there better than I thought they would be. I think I'm gonna have so many little tomato sprouts coming up in here as soon as I start getting the ground wet. Look at all those dried up tomatoes that are putting seeds all over the place. So I kind of forgot that I hadn't harvested all of my carrots over here. There's maybe 3 feet of them left, and man, some of these are pretty crazy looking. I didn't thin the carrots, which I definitely should have done, so all the ones that it looks like were really close to each other kind of now grown into one giant mutant looking thing here. I mean, there were some of them that were separated enough, but some of those are rather interesting looking. Not sure if these will be any good. We'll find out here in a second. I think it's interesting how the tops are greening. Ooh, that's a weird looking one. That's an off color. I seem to recall having a couple of those that were kind of pale that I pulled up last year. They didn't have very good flavor. They were kind of weird. That's it. There wasn't a whole lot. So I guess I gotta try one of these and see if they're any good after having gone through the whole winter. All right, got a couple of these washed up, and I know it's probably getting a huge amount of background noise because it just started raining, and you've essentially got like a 3,000 square foot drum here with all the plastic, and each one of those little raindrops is beating on that giant drum. So it gets just a little bit loud with even just a really light rain coming down. It's a little bit of bug damage or something on the outside of that, so that's what I'm trying to scrape off. All right. Tastes like a carrot, so I guess that's good. All right, so now that we got all that cleaned out along through that side, I'm gonna see if we can run the tiller all the way along through here and cut in along this edge, get that stuff chopped up and tilled in. It may just turn into a super dusty mess in here, because obviously for the last however many months, most of this has not really gotten any watering. The area where some of the winter greens are, the fall planting, that's gotten some, but everywhere else is really dry. But along the edges it may be okay, because of course, you know, as the rain sheds off the sides of the high tunnel, it's, you know, soaking into the ground right along through here. So I'm hoping that this isn't going to turn into a dusty mess, but we'll find out here in a second. So in this corner of the garden here, I put in some herbs in here last year, just kind of off to the side as a little test thing. Some of these actually made it through. So that there is sage, that overwintered just fine. There's some oregano down hidden around in there, and there's some thyme over in that area that also made it through the winter just fine. am not sure if I want to leave that stuff there or not, because for this year, I'm planning on putting a lot more stuff in here, and I'm also going to be putting it all on drip tape. That way I don't have to come out here with the watering wand and spend, you know, 2 hours a day getting everything watered. I'll just be able to turn it on and let it soak. So anyways, all that to say, I need to get everything into nice, evenly spaced rows down through here, and this is not. So if I can, I think I may try transplanting this, digging up and repositioning it so that it works better with how I'm wanting to do the watering. For now, I'm just going to leave it as is because I don't know entirely where I want to put that. Now, I'm going to come through and clear some of this dead stuff out of here, the old basil and cilantro and dill, get that cleared out since that's just dead stuff. But for now, we're going to leave that corner as is and come through here and get this long side of this tilled up, get that ready to go as well. Yeah, I think you can probably see the difference between tilling this section that's not really getting any moisture added into it from the water running off the sides, and going along the sides where it's getting that water seeping in. Just a little bit dustier. So for this side of the high tunnel, I've actually decided to hold off doing anything with this for the time being. And that's because I'm just going to lump this in to another project, which is getting all of this stuff over here cleaned out. Most of this over here is rock, but in this pile, at least over here, there's some other junk metal and stuff like that that's gotten mixed into it with it as well. So I think it'll be easiest if I can get all this stuff moved out of the way first, and then come through and clean up all the rock that's in the flat area beside here, get that out, and then at that point, if I want to maybe till or maybe put some chips or something right beside there, I'll mess with doing that then. But for the time being, I think it's going to be more effort if I try doing this little bit right through here on its own than just to wait and do it all at the same time. Apparently somebody thought it'd be a good idea to set the camera up right in the opening of the doorway over here. Not sure who thought that was a good idea. Alright, so I'm going to try getting this baler twine cut off of here. As much as I love to try and reuse stuff and you know, not throw any more stuff away than I have to, baler twine is pretty cheap and it's not worth messing with. And for the amount of time that it's spent trying to, you know, reel it up to reuse it, it's not worth it. And I'm also thinking I may try some sort of a different method for trellising up tomatoes and cucumbers for this year that might be a little bit easier and a little bit more maybe productive as well. I could use a ladder, but that would be too easy. Alright, I'm going to see how much more I can get kind of cleaned up down here with the rake. I'm not going to worry about the old rotted watermelons. Those will just stay there and those will get tilled in. But if I can get some of these vines and stuff cleaned up and out of here, that'll be one less thing that'll get bound up around the tiller tines. And then once I do that, I'm going to get the sprinkler going down here. That way it's going to start getting all this ground soaked down a little bit, get some moisture into that, and then when we're in here tilling, it's not just going to turn into a giant dust storm. Are still a little bit too close. Okay. There we go. That's better. Okay. Alrighty folks, well I think that about wraps it up for today. Next time we should be working on getting everything tilled and getting some wood chips spread and kind of some stuff like that, just getting everything ready to go for spring, for planting, for stuff popping up through wood chips, all that kind of good stuff. So that is going to be it for today's video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.